4 terrifying mysteries that were solved by the internet. Imagine waking up one morning to find a sticky note on your desk in handwriting that isn't yours. Then another one appears. Then another. Someone is breaking into your home, writing you cryptic messages and deleting your security footage. And when you go to Reddit for help, the internet doesn't just solve your mystery, it saves your life. These are crazy mysteries that were solved by the internet. What is up, guys? And welcome back to SavantPOV. Today we're diving into some of the most bizarre, creepy, and fascinating mysteries that stumped people completely until the internet stepped in and cracked them wide open. Let's get into it. Mysterious messages. The date is April 15th, and you have just woken up to the sound of your alarm. As per usual, you only open your eyes a sliver and roll over to hit the snooze button. But it's as you turn over to notice something. On the desk beside your bed is a post-it note, something you don't remember writing or leaving for yourself. And even though you're in desperate need of sleep, you decided to investigate. The yellow post-it note wasn't creepy in nature. It was a list of errands you had to do. But one crucial detail made it extremely mysterious. The handwriting on the note was not your own. It was that one subtle detail that caused you to think about how that post-it note could have possibly appeared. You have no recollection of writing it. But who else would know what errands you need to run? And besides, even if somebody did know, how would they have written the note and gotten it in your bedroom? It really didn't make much sense, but it didn't bother you that much. You chalk it up as something you did in your sleep and go on with your day, nearly forgetting about it hours later. That was until 4 days later on April 19th. After arriving home from work on the 19th, you noticed something on the back of your office chair. Once again, another yellow post-it note. Although this one was a bit more cryptic. It was in the same mysterious handwriting as the previous note, but it wasn't a list of errands. It was a reminder telling you to make sure you saved your documents. This note was more than odd, and made you seriously question what exactly was going on. And it was becoming obvious this wasn't a note you had just written in your sleep. This note freaked you out. So much in fact that you decided to set up a webcam inside of your apartment, pointing it directly at your desk to ensure that whoever or whatever was writing these notes could be caught. And once the camera was in place, nothing happened. That was until 9 days later. On the morning of the 28th, you woke up once again and found the most cryptic and disturbing note of all. It was a post-it note once again on your desk that stated the following: "Our landlord isn't letting me talk to you, but it's important we do." Immediately, you begin to check the folder in which the webcam was saving all of the footage. And you notice that it was not only no longer recording, but all of the footage had been manually deleted. At this point, you were terrified. Somebody was leaving you cryptic messages deleting the evidence, and you have no evidence besides these notes that anybody has been in or around your apartment. You know, you're not doing it yourself, and you're beginning to feel like you're losing your mind. And on top of this, you're starting to develop worse and worse headaches, likely due to the stress of what is going on. A few days after that incident, on the 1st of May, you find another post-it note, although this time not on your desk. It's actually on the outside of your front door. And as you look down the hallway of all the other apartments, you notice that almost every door has a different colored post-it note, seemingly at random, although the deeper meaning, if there was one, was lost to you. After nearly 2 weeks of cryptic torment, you come to the conclusion that the person that's doing this has to be your landlord. But just to be sure, you check the lease agreement you signed, and notice that the handwriting of your landlord on his signature almost matches the writing on your sticky notes exactly, proving to you that your landlord had been not only sneaking into your apartment, but using your sticky pads and using your pen to write you cryptic notes. Feeling terrified, violated, and slightly relieved now that you have some answers, you decide to go to Reddit, specifically the legal advice subreddit, to ask the members of the community if you had any legal standing to potentially press charges against your landlord. You had no evidence besides the notes themselves, but you figured the evidence would be enough. However, after making your post to Reddit, the community quickly determines that you don't have a legal situation on your hands. You actually have something much darker going on. The story I just described is the exact experience that Reddit user R. Bradbury 1920 experienced over a decade ago. After Bradbury made the post, people quickly began to start weighing in on exactly what could be going on. One commenter suggested installing another lock on the door that could only be unlocked from the inside to see if it was truly the landlord. Some people believed that the story was completely bogus and just a waste of time. and others suggested that Bradbury see a doctor immediately because it seemed like he was having some sort of mental or neurological problem that he was not aware of and that needed to be treated immediately. And while all of these theories or possibilities had their own validity, it wasn't until one user did a deeper dive on Bradbury's Reddit profile that he found crucial information. A comment by Reddit user Kakarlak affirmed the possibility that this could have been a landlord break-in, a sleepwalking situation, or even a mental health issue. However, they did also propose that this could have been a physical problem as well. While trying to determine the authenticity of Bradbury's post, Kakarlak decided to do some digging on Bradbury's Reddit profile and noticed that in some older posts where he was asking for interior design advice, Bradbury specifically stated that he had an unusually narrow bedroom with no windows. And it was that piece of information that led Kakarlak to believe that the situation may have been caused by this unusual and unsafe bedroom. Kakarlak stated in his comment, quote, "There's a good chance you are not getting enough ventilation when you sleep, or that there is a carbon monoxide leak in the building. A cheap carbon monoxide detector is the fastest way to find out. You'll also get really bad headaches if that's the case. You know your own medical history, mental health history, and your experiences. If you think these incidents might be you writing yourself notes, there's no shame in getting somebody qualified to give you an opinion." The comment seemed straightforward and respectful enough. Although his discovery and theory about his bedroom turned out to be a lot more significant than he could have ever assumed. And that's because following this comment being made, Bradbury replied to his comment stating, "I have had really bad headaches and I actually do have a carbon monoxide detector. I should probably take it out of the box and plug it in." And it was with that suggestion from a stranger on Reddit that Bradbury opened his carbon monoxide sensor, put in a battery, and instantly it was going off like a smoke alarm, proving that Bradbury's bedroom had a dangerous amount of carbon monoxide in it and was very much so the cause of the mystery at play. In case you're unfamiliar, carbon monoxide is a poisonous and deadly gas that cannot easily be detected by humans. Prolonged exposure to carbon monoxide could cause hallucinations, memory loss, and general mental decline. And it turns out because of the windowless bedroom that Bradbury was sleeping in, every night he was getting acute carbon monoxide poisoning. And in that oxygen-deprived state, he would be leaving these notes, forgetting he wrote them and waking up to a complete mystery. The stranger who took the time to look into Bradbury's profile not only ended up solving his mystery, but also very likely saved his life. 11BX1371. It was a warm summer night in 2015. You and your best bro were surfing the web looking for something spooky. You started the night by reading no-sleep stories and then went to YouTube to listen to creepypastas. But it was after your unsatisfying creepy story binge that a creepy video just happened to find you. It was YouTube video titled 11BX1371, and the thumbnail intrigued you. It was a guy in a plague doctor's mask in what looked to be an abandoned building. So you and your brother decide to click on it and watch the full 2 minutes. The video itself was vague and creepy, and it was for that reason that to you and your brother, it was absolute nightmare fuel. After watching the video, you're left with more questions than answers. And after completing the video, you try to find any sort of information you can, hoping to try to disprove or get to the bottom of what this video is all about. But unfortunately, at the time, you and your brother can only find information about where this video came from. And according to a Fortune article from only a few days ago, somebody simply found this video on a park bench and uploaded to try to share it to see if anybody knew anything about it. But beyond that, no more information was available, and the mystery left you and your brother terrified. Shortly after reaching this dead end, you and your brother decide to get some sleep and try not to have nightmares about whatever you just watched. And it wouldn't be for many years to come that an answer would finally be provided on what this video is all about, or what it even meant in the first place. 11BX1371 is one of the most interesting, and at this point notorious internet mysteries. But fortunately, now that we are 11 years out from the original posting of the video, we have all of the answers. Even just at face value, this video is extremely creepy and cryptic in nature. Although, as it began to gain traction on both Fortune and YouTube, internet sleuths began to realize that this video wasn't just creepy. It was literally full of ciphers that were begging to be decoded. And it was with the discovery of these ciphers that online sleuths began to coordinate, create a community, and begin decoding them one by one. Some of the ciphers hidden in the video included hand signals, random shapes, cryptic texts, and symbols hidden in the background in spray paint. But of course, with internet sleuths being internet sleuths, people weren't only trying to discover what these ciphers meant. They were also trying to discover where this video took place and who took it. Some of the earliest decoded ciphers to come out of this video actually revealed the filming location of this video and secret graphic images hidden within the video's audio files. One Reddit user was able to discover that this video actually took place in an abandoned Polish psychiatric hospital. And another Reddit user discovered that the audio from this video, when put through a spectrogram, actually revealed graphic images of crime scenes and murder, giving this creepy video a whole new horrific angle. But it only gets darker. As Reddit detectives began to dig deeper and deeper into the audio files, they noticed that hidden in the audio, there was voices repeating the phrase, "We are the antivirus." But secrets weren't only hidden in the audio. Other Redditors were able to create a composite image of different frames taken from the video to spell out another cryptic message that stated, "Strike an arrow through the heart of the eagle." Another cryptic message that was about to take on a much deeper meaning. As other Redditors discovered that in the background of the video was Morse code that when translated properly literally meant "kill the president," and having that metaphor follow the striking an eagle with an arrow. Some users suspected that this video was actually an omission to potentially assert the President of the United States, something that people reasonably took seriously. And this thesis was further backed that another cipher in the video, when decoded, literally translated to the GPS coordinates of the White House, making the plan seem that much more real, in the video that much more terrifying. And while some people took these claims extremely seriously, it is not publicly known whether or not law enforcement agencies were actively looking into this potential threat against the American government, people, and president. It would be months until there was any other hints discovered on what this video could possibly mean. When seemingly out of the blue, a brand new YouTube channel named Parker Warner Wright would re-upload the now infamous video, and also create a Twitter account and a Reddit account under the same name. And this Parker Wright individual was using these platforms to claim ownership of this now infamous video. Up until this point, as this video was gaining popularity, numerous people online were trying to claim ownership of it, saying that it was their personal project. However, nobody was able to prove the claim. It was until Parker Wright made these profiles and began answering questions and providing evidence that he was the original creator of this cryptic and terrifying video. He provided individuals online pictures of the mask used in the video, which he claimed to be custom made, meaning nobody else could possibly have it, and showed pictures of the gloves featured in the video, and even shared source files with some of the ciphers hidden in the video itself, making a rather rock-solid claim that Parker Wright was the original creator of this extremely mysterious video. However, after becoming pretty well known within the community of people trying to decode the first video, Parker decided to make a second video to prove once and for all that he was the original creator, and that he planned on making more content like the first video. The video was titled 11B31369 and featured the same character in a similar setting, doing similar things, further solidifying the case that Parker Wright was the original creator of the video. However, now that we knew what some of the ciphers meant, where the video took place, and now who took the video, what did it all mean? And fortunately, an answer wasn't far away. Because after the second video was posted, Parker made a Patreon of all things, and then made it known that these videos in this entire online persona he was now creating was part of a personal art project. Unsurprisingly, the reveal was a bit unsatisfactory for some individuals, as they had spent numerous hours trying to decipher codes that they believed to be of high relevance and importance to national security in the United States, while others were simply happy to be a part of the journey, and were also relieved that there was no actual risk at play, although the threats in this art could still very much be taken seriously. But yeah, what started as an early viral cryptic video that quickly gained the intentions of online cipher crackers and Reddit detectives quickly devolved into the original creator trying to cash in on the hype he created and promoting his Patreon, which honestly artists need to get paid. So I get it. But it's interesting to consider where the line needs to be drawn between art and, well, making threats and sharing extremely graphic, disturbing content to unsuspecting online. I'm honestly kind of surprised this guy didn't get in. trouble considering there's a pretty big community actively looking into what this video is about. And before it was revealed that this was an art project, there was literally just mysterious threats being made against the American president. But now that the dust has settled, my assumption is that he was able to avoid getting in trouble simply because he revealed his true intentions not too long after the video gained traction. And he was also an American individual who is living in Poland, meaning that intelligence agencies didn't really have a direct path of getting to Parker, if they were even looking into this. But who knows? Let's move on. I feel fantastic. It's 2 a.m. and you have to wake up early, but of course you choose to not go to sleep and continue scrolling on YouTube. That is until you're met with an extremely cryptic looking video. The thumbnail shows a humanoid looking creature and the title simply says, "I feel fantastic." Already being creeped out by the thumbnail and title, you decide to scroll past it. But almost suddenly you know that this is something you have to look into. So you decide to scroll back up and see what this video is all about. You click on the video and are met with an extremely disturbing video, to say the least. What appears to be a humanoid robot singing a rather simple song. The video is short, and before you could even realize what you're watching, it's over. You decide that this nightmare fuel has already prevented you from getting a good night's sleep. So, you decide to get out of bed, go to your desk, and begin researching on what this video could possibly be about and what it could possibly mean. And some of the theories you're met with once you begin searching make you wish you never looked deeper into it at all. The I Feel Fantastic video features a robot named Terra. And if you were on early YouTube around 2009, you have very likely seen this extremely creepy video. But even if you weren't on YouTube at the time and didn't see the original video, I'm sure the character shown in this video is something you've seen if you've ever watched a YouTube iceberg video, or potentially something about lost media, or even a video about creepy solved internet mysteries. This I Feel Fantastic video has become rather notorious, and so has this Terra robot creature. But not many people know the full lore, which is why I wanted to discuss it further. Because this story, similar to the one we just discussed, produced some extremely serious and unsettling theories, although ended up being completely different than what everybody thought. In 2009, a video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Creepy Blog that was titled I Feel Fantastic. And it was that video that kicked off the entire mystery surrounding this uncanny character and video. Like the other video we discussed, the I Feel Fantastic video quickly began gaining attention in niche communities, specifically groups of people that felt enamored by the video and wanted to get to the bottom of it. The only hints on the possible purpose of this video were the description. In the description of this video was basically a monologue about Greek mythology and a tale of a Greek god trying to build his ideal woman. Something that didn't shed a ton of light, but gave possible motivations. As people began to look further and further into this video, conspiracy theories began to arise, as they always do online. And one of the most prominent and shocking conspiracy theories was the theory that this video was actually an omission of murder, and that this creepy, uncanny mannequin was actually wearing the clothes of the killer's last victim. As other videos surfaced of the same robot wearing other ladies' clothes, it was then assumed that there were new victims, and that these murders were actively happening. And when one video was discovered of a simple shot of a backyard, some people instantly assumed that this had to be the location where bodies were buried or where murders took place. But fortunately, these theories did not live long, as once again, internet detectives were able to get to the bottom of what was really going on here. And what was discovered was early 2000s Android forums, a place where people who were passionate about, well, humanoid androids could discuss their craft and passion. On one of these old forums, it was discovered that Tom Burjohn was an active community member, and he was frequently discussing his latest project, Terra the robot. And it was fortunately discovered that no, Terra was not simply modeling the clothes of dead victims. Terra was a project that Tom was working on, a project that he believed to be the future of entertainment. See, Terra the robot was Tom Burgon's pride and joy. And the goal with the singing robot was to essentially create animatronic artists for concerts worldwide. Kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, just even creepier. But yeah, while one cryptic video posted to YouTube can spark a lot of conspiracy and controversy, in reality, or at least in the case of Terra the robot, and I Feel Fantastic the music video, all this really was at its core was a man trying to showcase his engineering prowess and demonstrate how animatronics could potentially look in entertainment in the near future. And while we don't know what John Bergeron is up to these days, I think it's safe to say that regardless of what he's doing now, his contribution to the Android space has definitely made an impact on the internet, albeit likely not in the way that he intended. Honestly, it's kind of funny to just imagine, you put your blood, sweat, tears into something. You're so passionate about something. You think this business is the future. You create a prototype. You post it online to show the world. And the instant response is, oh my God, he's a killer. He's a killer. Scary. He's a killer. Look at this. It's a monster. I mean, realistically, with how creepy it is, that's not an unreasonable reaction. But it's hilarious to think that this guy was trying to share his passion, and everybody instantly thought he was a killer with malice intentions. Lily Peters. Lily Peters was a 10-year-old girl from Wisconsin. She lived a normal, happy, healthy life. That was until April of 2022, exactly 4 years ago to the month of recording this video. During this time, Lily was spending time at her aunt's house, something she did often. And as it was coming time to leave, Lily got on her bike and started to head home. Although, when Lily didn't arrive home nearly an hour after she typically got home, her parents got concerned. Lily's dad ended up calling his sister, Lily's aunt, to see when Lily was going to head home. However, Lily's aunt informed her dad that she left an hour ago, which unsurprisingly caused panic in both the aunt and the father of Lily. Immediately after this discovery, Lily's dad began retracing Lily's possible steps, as there's not many places she could have gone or got lost. Lily's parents and her aunt only lived 3 minutes apart by bike, and this bike ride that Lily took was something she did often, and was a safe route, meaning that there was nearly no logical explanation for why she would not be home on time or at all. And it was for that reason that Lily's parents decided to contact authorities, once they were certain she wasn't lost or just simply taking her time getting home. After an official report was made on the missing child, police made a shocking discovery that night. They were able to locate Lily's bike, although it was abandoned and there was no sign of Lily anywhere. That was until the following morning, when during a routine search, one of the members on the search and rescue team found Lily Peters' lifeless body hidden in the woods. This discovery unfortunately confirmed the worst for everybody who knew and loved Lily, although this discovery only left more questions than answers. And that was because there was no clear motives for who could have done this and who would have wanted to do this. At the time of discovery, all the authorities knew was that they were dealing with a dead child who had been mutilated and dumped seemingly for no reason on a relatively short and routine bike ride. However, it wouldn't be long for the police to establish a motive and a timeline. Surprisingly, in part due to a Reddit comment from somebody who was playing Pokémon Go. As this tragic murder was beginning to make headlines across the nation, people began discussing the details on true crime subreddits, and also tried their best to potentially theorize on what could be going on. It was in one of these true crime threads when a commenter claimed that they were playing Pokémon Go in the same area where the murder took place. And this player remembers seeing 2 children walking on the trails. And this player mentioned seeing a young girl that fit the exact description of Lily Peters. And the young boy that she was with ended up having a description that matched exactly with her 14-year-old cousin. Fortunately, this information was promptly reported to the local police department that was on the case. And it was actually that piece of information that gave the police enough evidence to arrest the 14-year-old boy they were already beginning to suspect. The 14-year-old boy, as I mentioned, was Lily Peters' 14-year-old cousin. And her cousin, of course, lived at the aunt's house she was just spending time at. It's been reported that when Lily was going to head home, her cousin offered to take the ride with her. She would ride her bike, and he would ride his hoverboard. Not long after they left their house, the 14-year-old boy suggested that they go to a nearby trail to play a bit more before she went home. And then, once they made it to the trail, he suggested that they maybe go off trail. And it was during this time off trail that this 14-year-old boy assaulted, violated, and killed his 10-year-old baby cousin. After the 14-year-old was arrested, he not only admitted to everything that was done to Lily, but also admitted that what he did was premeditated and planned, proving that he had every intention of ending the life of his cousin before they ever even left the house. Because of the sheer depravity and seriousness of the situation, Lily's cousin, the 14-year-old killer, was convicted on multiple felony accounts of assault, rape, and murder as an adult, and his trial is actually set for this year. The story of Lily is by far the most tragic on this entire list. This wasn't an obscure art project or a gas leak. This was genuinely pure evil and resulted in the loss of an innocent life that was completely avoidable. Truly, there are so many upsetting and disturbing details about the entire situation. And if you're into true crime, I'm sure you likely already know about it. But doing research for this video, I was truly just sickened to learn all of the details of the case, specifically about the family dynamic and how the cousin's dad was already in jail for, well, bad content of kids, if you get my drift. But yeah, it's just so crazy and upsetting to think that a 14-year-old boy could do something so depraved to his 10-year-old cousin. Regardless, the silver lining in the situation is the fact that Lily was soon found after she went missing, and justice was quickly served after the investigation was opened, partially in part to a Reddit comment from somebody who was just playing Pokémon Go. I guess the moral of the story, at least in this section, is that if you see something, say something, because you really never know the impact it could have. In situations like this, I always like to remind myself and the audience that this is a real situation. A real life was lost. Real families were impacted and numerous people's lives were changed forever due to the actions of one individual. And for that reason, whenever I discuss murder or similar sensitive topics, I do my absolute best to be as respectful as possible. And I request you do the same if you end up discussing this section in the comments. All right, guys, if you made it to the end of this video, you are a real one, and I genuinely appreciate you. If this video hit different, do me a solid and smash that like button. It helps this channel more than you know. And if you're not subscribed to SavantPOV yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. I drop content that's actually worth your time, and trust me, you don't want to sleep on what's coming next. Drop a comment below which story messed you up the most. The carbon monoxide guy, the creepy Cipher video, or Lily Peters. Let me know. And as always, trust the process, trust the content, and trust SavantPOV. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.